Okay, Michelle, we would just like to take this opportunity to hear from daughter and talking about the father. Like, for example, in the when you were a little girl, things that you remember as your father did, and that touch your heart and something like that.
Well, one thing that was very important to him when we were coming up, he was a Christian, and we always attended church.
Yes.
My whole life. He liked to have worship every night with us, and we had these really nice Bible story books, so we all got to take turns sitting in his lap while he read the story. So he very, religious man. He loved people. He worked very hard to keep us in private schools our whole life.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a blessing.
Wow. So you said he liked to worship every night?
He had worship every night. We had some books called Bible story books, and they were beautiful drawings in there, and it was stories out of the Bible written to keep a child interested.
Yes.
So it's interesting, and they're lovely pictures, so we had a whole set of those. So we had worship every night before we go to bed, and he would read a story and pray.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's so wonderful.
It was. It's a blessing.
Yes, yes. And then I also noticed that he, whenever he talks about Christ, it seems to me like he's always under the move of the Holy Spirit, because he was like kind of emotional.
He gets very emotional about it. I think that it was a tremendous blessing that God used him to do all these things.
Yes.
It's just overwhelming.
Yes.
And I do know too, and I pray this myself, he loved people. And
Yes.
He didn't want anybody to be lost, so he wanted to do this so people know the truth.
Yes.
And they could make the right decision.
Yes. Yeah. So I can feel that his spirit, when he give the testimony, when he talk about Christ, the blood, and so on, and he was like always wanting to cry.
Yeah, it's
and my spirit witnessed to that, because I can sense that also, like very genuine,
Yes.
and like under the move of the Holy Spirit. Yeah, and and I had an opportunity to interview Henry Hoover, and he was talking about how your father, was able to handle all the criticisms.
He had a lot
very
of that.
calmly, in a very calm way.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to do. But when they first started out, no one knew anything about this, and the majority of people you would tell it, they probably wouldn't believe it, or because he was not a professional archaeologist. His profession of you're not going to be able to do this. So it was difficult through the years. I mean, there's still a lot of criticism about it. If you ever look on the internet and try to find information, it's not good.
But I think now it's less at least for me, I think now for some reason, more and more material come out, and people are able to do their own research and come to their own conclusion. And I'm the one who, after these researchers and study and come to the conclusion that your father is, genuine, in his testimony, we, at least I and many other people like us, we do believe.
Yes, and there's enough evidence for anybody he wanted people to believe the Bible was true. So all of these things, God left it out there for someone to find, and he used him, and now people are aware of that. And there's a lot of different people that find this, and it's a life-changing story. So they want to share it with everyone else too. So the more people doing that, you're going to reach more.
Yes.
That way.
Yes, and yeah. And I think this is just my personal opinion. I think the reason why God used your father, one of the major reasons is he's very humble.
Yes.
Yeah, he's very humble. So I think for someone to find all these so many important archaeology, Bible, biblical findings, it's just incredible. And I think a lot of people, they are out of jealousy, like how can one guy find all these important
Well, he
stuff?
addresses that himself, and he says that is how you know that God did this. I didn't do it. It was all God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe
He
God.
never took the glory for any of us.
Yeah. I believe God. That's the reason why God used a humble man to reveal all these. Yes.
Now, he was asked the question, I think, probably more than once, well, why do you think you were able to do all this? He said, well, I was just willing.
Yeah. And so, quickly, your father, he was a serviceman in the Vietnam
The
War?
Korean War.
Korean War. So was he a career military service or just?
No, that was just for a few years when he was younger. He signed up as a young man.
Oh, I see.
I'm not sure how long he was in there, probably a regular tour, maybe 4 years possibly.
Oh, okay. And he was like serving as the nurse or something military?
I
Medical.
could not tell you what he did in there, I don't know.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it was after the military when he took nurses training and then he took anesthesiology.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure his role when he was in the,
Oh, I see. So then after that he worked in the hospital.
yes.
Oh, okay. And then he took his time off to.
Well, he had to fund himself for many years. So he would work very hard and save his money, and he would go over there and do what he could and come back and save more. And that's why it took all those many years, to get enough of the evidence.
Oh, okay. Because I thought there was a foundation behind, like to
No,
financially support his.
no, it was just him
All by his own pocket.
to start with.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're very
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you.